I feel as if mainstream politics it's as if they're asking us the choice between bad versus worse. To me, it seems like the two sides are very, very similar. And I'm going to use the example of banking. In banking, the popular corporate media makes us think that there's only two sides to the question. Either increased or decreased government regulation of the system that already exists. As it is right now, the government-privileged US dollar has a territorial monopoly over the entire country. This is because there are legal tender laws and taxes that prevent private banks from creating complementary currencies. As a result of these artificial barriers to competition, everyone in the US is forced to use the government-issued money. This allows the currency to be mismanaged, which causes all these widespread recessions. If there were more types of money to use, we wouldn't need the government regulations because monetary mismanagement would be punished by the market. Some banks would create money that had high amounts of leverage and low amounts of regulation, which would allow them to have better interest rates maybe, but they would risk not having enough liquid reserves during panics, and they wouldn't be able to return their money to depositors. If a company were to provide something like FDIC insurance on the market, they would require banks to have a sound basis for their money, force them to impose regulations and reserve requirements that protected them from bank runs. People would be able to choose money that was safe and fully backed by assets. While these currencies would not have as good of interest rates as the riskier types of money, they would be certified as A-grade money by a variety of different types of regulating agencies. As a result, the money would be stable, secure, and non-inflationary. People would still be able to use the riskier money, and that risky money wouldn't have that seal of approval from the regulators. But when economic crises caused people to lose confidence in the value of those risky currencies, causing their value to decrease and fluctuate regularly, that's when the problem arises. While increased government regulation has decreased the possibility of another financial crisis in the immediate future, we will not be free of the boom-bust cycle until we begin to issue currencies that compete with the government-issued money. Otherwise, people will become assured of the stability of the US dollar again, and another round of unsound deregulation will create another recession. The rich understand that the boom-bust cycle is caused by centralized management of the currency, and they don't want to change that, because they are the ones that benefit most from this cycle. While they may be hurt by the recession, they're still able to buy up lots of land and assets when prices are low, because they know that prices will rise again and that they'll make a killing. Average Americans, on the other hand, who make money through labor rather than absentee investment, are forced to sell their assets when prices are low, so that they can get the money to pay their debts. Let's end the boom-bust cycle by introducing competing currencies, which will force the government to manage its own money wisely. Ron Paul recently introduced a bill into Congress to end the legal tender laws, lift taxes from trying to create new currencies, and to actually create a framework where we can create our own money privately without privileged money that comes from the government. And even if you can't agree with everything, we have to all be against this central banking that's privileged by the government. Because when there's a monopoly of money in a territory, there's no possible accountability they have not to mismanage their money.